we're going to look at now is just how do you plan and prepare? Because one of the biggest challenges that we have is someone will say, oh, can you do a presentation at the board meeting next week? Or can you do a sort of 10-minute session at the next team meeting? And suddenly everyone's thrown into a panic. So we're going to look at how you can plan and prepare really easily. And not only that, how you can plan and prepare very quickly. So my aim is that by the end of this session, you know how to get all your thoughts into one place so that actually you can have a nice logical sequence to what you're going to talk about. So to do this, then there's a number of ways you can do it. If you're working as a team, you might want to use a flip chart or you might want to use a whiteboard. If you're on your own, sitting on the train, you might use a notepad. You can even use a post-it note. And this method I'm going to share with you is sometimes known as Izzy's back of an envelope method. So if you've got a back of an envelope, you can do it with that too. So what I'm going to ask you to do first of all is to think about the topic. Almost certainly you've been asked to speak on something. So it might be you've got to speak about funding, or you've got to get permission to do something. You might even be presenting as part of an interview. So think about what your topic is. And what I do is put the topic in the middle of my piece of paper or my post-it note or my whiteboard. And then I'm going to ask you to put at the top of the page, audience. And we'll think about what we want to put on with regards to the audience. And then at the bottom of the page, I want you to put outcome. Because what we're going to focus on is what is it that you're going to talk about on this topic to that audience to achieve these outcomes. And that's the clarity piece. So now that you've got audience written at the top of your page, think about your audience. Now, what is it you know about them? What are they like? What sort of age group are they? And when I use the word audience, this could be somebody that you're speaking to one-to-one or one-to-two or three. It could be that you're speaking to several hundred. You could be presenting to a board. You might be presenting to an interview panel. So it's all about what do you know about this audience? If you like, what's their DNA? What are their expectations? What are they like? Are they formal? Are they more informal? Are they going to want humour? All the sort of things that you need to think about around that audience. And then I want you to think really carefully on the topic that you're going to speak to them about. What is it that you want them to go away thinking, feeling, saying or doing as a result of your presentation or your talk? So capture that. So if you want them to go away supporting your application, write that down. If you want them to go away thinking about what a great person I am, write that down. If you want them to go away committing to funding something, great. But capture what it is you want that audience to go away thinking, feeling, saying or doing. Because now what I'm going to get you to do is to brainstorm all the things you could possibly talk about to that audience to achieve those outcomes. And this is where you end up with more than you would probably want or need. And that's fine, that's absolutely fine. But capture everything. So whether it's the topic around what you're going to be doing, when you're going to be doing it, how much funding you might need, what the challenges might be, get everything up. And if you're working in a team or you're working with a colleague and you're preparing a presentation together, you'll have loads of stuff. Don't hold back, get it all up there. Because once you've got it up there, then we can start editing. So you've now got probably far too much information on your whiteboard or your flip chart or your post-it note or your notepad. So now what we need to do is think about how do we chunk this down into one or two or possibly three key points. And I want you to keep to 3 points and no more, because what you find is that from an audience perspective, if you give people too much, then they'll never remember any of it. So we're going to focus on taking all the content down to 1, 2 or 3 key points. Now, I like using pens because it's colourful and it's fun. And if you ever wanted to wield a red pen like the school teacher, now's your chance, because what you're going to do is you're going to take your red pen and you're going to literally capture the key things that you must talk about to this audience to achieve those outcomes, and maybe the things that you could talk about to achieve those outcomes with this audience. And then you've got to be ruthless, and I mean ruthless. I want you to edit down to the 2 or the 3 key points that you want to talk about. So that might be about what you're going to do and when you're going to do it. It might be about what the project entails and what budget you're looking for, and then supporting documentation around that.